Let me introduce you to CanWCC business member and your business coach today, Laura Jean Bernhardson. So Laura Jean has spent over 2 decades coaching and mentoring women entrepreneurs while building her own successful business over the last 30 years. Her entrepreneurial journey began in 1994 with the launch of her knitwear line, leading to her immersing herself in the world of entrepreneurship and self-study. Recognizing her passion for both the creative and business aspects, she expanded her business, Fresh Collective, into multiple locations and developed programs to support emerging Canadian designers. Under her leadership, Fresh Collective became a renowned 7-figure fashion business known for its local ethos and community building efforts. In addition to her fashion ventures, Laura Jean has ventured into the childcare industry, partnering with a daycare operator to expand her acumen to a new field. And this experience further solidified her belief in the transferability of her skills and her commitment to continuous learning and growth. As a seasoned business coach, Laura Jean has worked with a diverse range of entrepreneurs, from financial planners to web designers, helping them create aligned business with measurable systems for success. With a wealth of experience and a deep-rooted passion for supporting women in business, Laura Jean continues to empower entrepreneurs to achieve their goals and build thriving businesses. Without further ado, let's welcome Laura Jean. Yay! Hi. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm used to introducing myself, so I'm a bit like, what am I supposed to say now? Jenna has done it all. So yeah, I am as Jenna said, I've been a lifelong entrepreneur. I started my first business in 1994 that grew into 3 retail stores. So I had fashion manufacturing and fashion retail models in that particular business. For 11 years, I was a partner in the co-owner, so 50-50 partner in a licensed daycare, which was really, Jenna described it so fancy, but it was a little startup that my son was one of the first children at. And the woman who was operating it was having trouble getting it licensed and expanded to the capacity that it could be. And I said, I think I could maybe help you do that. And we talked about a partnership, and that's how that started. So that happened, that operated for 11 years alongside my business, Fresh Collective. And then I also have been coaching all along. So I've been, I'm one of those multi-passionate entrepreneurs who has a lot going on, sometimes to my detriment, but that seems to be the way I operate. So today I'm focused on all my brick and mortar businesses closed in 2020. Today I am focused on the next phase of my career, which is really just being focused on the business coaching and a small side hustle as an artist, doing art workshops and things like that. So that's me in a nutshell. I'd love to go around and do introductions from everybody, just to get very brief ones, just to get a sense of who's in the room. And then we're just going to open it up to Q&A. So this is a live coaching session. I hope everybody realized that. And it's really a chance for you to take a look in your business and get specific about what is happening. Maybe it's, I'm posting on social media, but I'm not converting into clients. Or, I'm terrified of sales, or I want to hire, but I don't know how, or, really just about anything. So in the small business world, I've operated in many models, and I've coached women in many models. So I have a wealth of experience. So let's hope that I've got answers for you today, and my wealth of experience doesn't let me down. So for introductions, what I'll do is call out someone, and you introduce yourself, and then you call out someone else. So we'll just keep a chain moving like that. So Adrienne, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hi, thank you. So my name's Adrienne. I'm in Calgary, Alberta. And so I came thinking, just finding more, I think, questions that small businesses, women are having with their businesses. So I just started a fractional CFO company with somebody else. I came from a big corporate company. Also had some experience with small business before that, but kind of just getting into as well. So as I'm sitting here thinking that was my main purpose, I was also the sales stuff, that's something that we're struggling with. And my partner said it the other day, it's I think I'm allergic to sales. I don't want to anybody to ever feel like I'm selling them anything. So any type of, because as we are just in the beginning stages of starting this, so I think both pieces. So yeah, looking forward to it. Nice to meet you all.
Awesome. And
oh, sorry, I'm
Adrienne,
supposed to pass it along. I'm going to pass it to, is it Ezra? Is that right? Okay.
Yes, thank you, Adrian. My name is Esra Tokmakçı. I have electrical engineering degree, and for a long time I did project management in telecommunication, energy, in different sectors. And in 2019, when my daughter said she will get married, and I said immediately, oh, I will be grandma soon. And because I also married just with my classmate alumni when I was at university, and I had my baby so soon, I thought, oh, okay. And I don't want to, because I was as project manager, I was doing also site management and going sites, and it was very tough job and just not very flexible. And it was before COVID, so there was no flexibility at all. And so I decided to change my job, and I quit my corporate position. It was multinational corporate company, and I started as a recruitment consultant in another company, and I learned the business, and I decided to continue as myself, and I have now a recruitment company for a talent. It was during COVID time, and I was right, I became grandma, and and then and now I have two granddaughters, and I had my daughter, I didn't want her to quit her job, and so I wanted to support her and her family. So now both of them started daycare, and now I am more flexible, and I found you by coincidence in LinkedIn, and so I am happy to be here.
nice.
And I want to give the floor to Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley. So I'm the executive assistant for the Canadian Women's Chamber of Commerce, but I also have a bookkeeping and virtual assistant business. I worked in corporate for many years. I did not like it, and so I left and decided to open my own business and take that risk. Not sure who hasn't gone yet.
I think Mary Lou, Katie, and Roxanne.
All right, I'll go with Katie.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Katie. Where do I start? So I am a domestic abuse survivor that is out to change the world for women. I was in a relationship for 4 years, physical, mental, emotional, financial, all abuse, all of the above. I am, previous to him, before I was isolated, I'm a best-selling author. I'm an international speaker. God gave me a voice, and so I intend to use it, because 77% of women stay silent, and 1 in 3 women are in the situation I was in. So unfortunately, my story is not unique, and I am not a special individual when it comes to that. I'm special in many ways, but not in that way. And so I started a company called Ladies Take Control. And Ladies Take Control is an organization that basically pours into women for free to give them all the possible professional and personal development they can from some of the most amazing humans that I've been able to meet around the world, because I'm an international speaker. And so I've been able to align myself with some pretty cool people. So right now it's in the form of virtual events. My next event is coming up in June, so I hope everyone will attend. The tickets are free. But I also am building an app that doesn't exist out there right now for survivors. And so I'm really excited to see that come to fruition, to help them, people who are in it and who need to get out of it. In saying that, I joined here because one of my mentors said I should be joining some sort of chamber of commerce of some sorts. And I'm like, well, I'm out to change the world for women. So I figured this was the best one to be a part of. And I just I joined a couple weeks ago, and so here I am. I didn't really know what to expect from this event today, but I just knew I needed to get on here and meet as many amazing women as I possibly can, and introduce myself.
Awesome.
Oh, my turn. Roxanne.
Hi. Hi, I'm Roxy. Sorry, I'm here with my little guy. Here, I'll show him to you. Actually, you want to see him?
Oh,
He's really funny. So yeah, you guys all have such amazing stories. It's so nice to meet you all. My name is Roxanne. I'm the founder of Lucky Financial. I started my company about 6 months ago with the goal of creating more female millionaires. And money isn't everything, but money does give you choices, and making sure that you're making the choices that is right for you. And so this is why I'm so passionate about this idea of financial feminism and financial empowerment. He is also passionate about it. And I'm here today just to listen and to hang out. I know Laura Jean from before. I think she's amazing, and I just wanted to be here to support you in all that you do. So yeah, thank you. Can someone help me pick up who?
I think Mary Lou.
I'll go with Mary Lou if that's okay.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Mary Lou. Can you all hear me? Sort of like okay?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, thanks. All right, so I'm a digital marketer specialized in paid social. I started my business in January because simply didn't want to go to the office anymore. And so that's how it started. But now I do want to provide value to people that get some sort of ROI through digital marketing. And I think I'm a very creative person. Later on, I will also like to get into branding and more graphic design. So and I'm here because I've been following Laura Jean for a while, and she's everywhere. I aspire to be everywhere like she is, and and also to meet other like-minded women in Canada, and it's right next to each other.
Awesome. Wow, what a group we have. Amazing. So now we just open the floor.
Jenny, did you introduce yourself?
Oh.
Okay. Come off mute, Jenny. And we got two other people that just joined, Susan and Aaron. You're just in time, Susan and Aaron. We're about to get started. Okay, Jenny, go ahead and tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about your business.
Thank you. So my name is Jenny. I am a brand expert and a senior graphic designer. I was not ready to appear on camera, so I apologize for that. But I wanted to introduce myself anyways and just congratulate everyone because it seems like there's a lot of power in this room right now. I've been working for myself for the past 15 years. In COVID, I kind of took a pause, not fully, but my clients were mostly food franchises. And if you're all in Toronto, you know what happened with the food industry and the restaurants. So I am back. And I guess what I'm looking to learn is, well, first of all, I believe we can all learn from each other. But in terms of the topic here, it's more about the scaling and what was spoken at the beginning. I am in this process of scaling the business. In the past, it used to be all me or me with partners or me hiring freelancers. I'm still doing some of that, but I'm also scaling in a sense that I want to have a consistent team. And every time I do that and I take that decision of moving forward, I do have some people in my team, but there's always a question of what comes first, the chicken or the egg. So how big the business needs to be, how and how much do I need to be making to be able to share my work with other people, and yeah, pretty much a little bit around that. Let me see who haven't been there. I think Susan hasn't introduced herself yet. Is that right?
Susan, you just have to unmute yourself.
There, hi. My apologies. I was having problems getting in and the password stuff, so I missed everything that everybody was saying. So my apologies. But I'm really looking forward to hearing what everybody has to say. I guess you're just asking about to give information about yourself.
Just a quick introduction.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm a retired kindergarten teacher, and I've always wanted to do just small markets. And so I make fairy doors and anything fairy from the fairy realm. So I was inspired by my kindergarten students, and I've done a few markets over the past couple of years, and I just wanted to see how I can improve my marketing skills and what my next steps are. And I do it for fun because I'm very fortunate that I've been able to retire as a teacher. So I do have a pension.
Thank you, Susan. And Erin, do you want to introduce yourself quickly? You'll have to come off mute too, because I have to put you back on mute. You can also introduce yourself in the chat, Erin, if you can't find the mute button. But I think right back over to you, LJ.
Yes. Okay. I think we have everyone's introduction except for Erin. And sorry about that false start that I had before. I didn't realize there were like multiple screens of people. So I was only seeing like half of you guys. So basically, I love the mix of people we have in the room. It's like so exciting because I think that what we'll find by the end of this is that no matter how different our businesses are, there's these common issues that keep coming up. And that's what I find so fascinating about this. It's like not, I think it's like what Katie said, we're not that special or something like that. Something about being special. It's like we think our problems are unique to us. And they're really not. They're really so universal. And that's why I think it's just so important to come together in groups like this and learn in this kind of way. So I'm just going to open up the floor. It is time for a question. So anyone who wants to go first and ask a specific question about their business, let's do it.
Well, I'll go first. Why not?
Okay.
So I would love to know, I mean, I'm pretty great at the branding piece, at social media, getting myself out there. But this is a new venture for me. This is something that's a little harder to speak about. It's hard. And I'm really, really needing to target women, all types of women, by the way, not just those that are in relationships, because it's about stepping into our power and making sure we find our voices, making sure we pave our paths, we build the tables we need rather than waiting to be able to sit at a table. And so I guess my question would be is, what is the best way to get in front of more women? Like, how do I get this information? Because it's free and I want to give back and I want to get, this event and eventually the community when it's built in front of women. So any suggestions would be amazing. And the second part to that is, as a speaker, I mean, I'm starting from scratch. I am only 5 months out from this relationship. So he 5 months ago froze everything and told me to go sell my body for groceries and left me with nothing. So I am also reinvigorating my speaking career. So another question would be, how do I get in front of those, female entrepreneurs, businesses, female leadership conferences, but as well, I'm a customer experience expert. So organizations in general, just, the best way to get me out there.
So are those two separate questions?
I guess they're kind of the same, but a little different. Yeah.
Is it a different message? I mean, with the speaking career, is your speaking career now centered around spreading this message of your group, Ladies Take Control?
Yeah. So my speaking career, there's three. I just did a TED Talk on the art of choice. So I talk a lot about the power of our choice. I talk about the power of experience. So from a corporation standpoint, the customer experience and the fact that without the customer, we have nothing. And so that's another topic. And then the power of her. So finding your voice and choosing to rise. So those are my three areas that I speak on.
Okay. So, and they all do kind of they all are in the bucket of the Ladies Take Control.
So the power of her is definitely in the bucket of Ladies Take Control. Ladies Take Control is a brand new venture. So my speaking and my consulting, my training on the customer experience is separate from Ladies Take Control. Ladies Take Control is a space that I am creating. It's something I wish I had, and I wish I have, going through what I'm going through. So that's more of my passion. It is, I want to help women. I want to give back. Whereas the other is, more of the business perspective of it.
Okay, let's focus on answering the question about getting Ladies Take Control out in front of more, you want to spread that message to more ladies. Yes. So what are you currently doing to spread that word?
Yeah, so currently just, I've started a social media page on it. I talk about it with everybody that I know. I do posting on it. I am, I've got 6 keynotes lined up for women's events in male-dominated spaces, so the automotive space. And so just getting out there on stages and letting them know about it.
Mm-hmm. And when you say you have a social media page, what, on Instagram, or what's that all about?
Yeah, so for Ladies Take Control, I have it on Instagram, and I have a website as well, and I have a podcast.
Oh, and a podcast. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're doing great things. I mean, the keynote speaking is amazing. You've got 6 lined up. I feel like your speaking career or your experience in speaking is probably your biggest strength in terms of getting out in front of lots of people. And then this is just completely like off the top of my head, is that, I like what you're doing in that you've chosen Instagram, you're doing a podcast, and you're doing keynote speaking. So you're not doing millions and millions of things trying to drive yourself too crazy, like all the different platforms and TikTok and, LinkedIn and, whatever, like just kind of really spreading yourself thin in that regard, because each social media platform, this is a basic marketing question too. This isn't, again, it's like not different than anybody else's. Mm-hmm. So whether you're trying to get your message for your free, service to help women, out there, or you're trying to get your message about, your fairy doors that you hand make or whatever, it's the same, right? So you pick a few channels and you focus on getting your message out there. There's a lot to play with there. And so it's hard for me to, like, if somebody's putting out marketing and it's not effective, it's hard for me to come up with hard and fast answers just in moments like this. But you can look at, am I getting the right audience? Am I getting enough of the right audience? And then am I reaching them? So one thing I look at on social media is statistics, like the stats, the insights. So you really want to look at, social media is not just posting, it's interacting with others. I always say to have a friend, be a friend on social media. So it's interacting with others, it's creating communities, it's building your network, it's supporting others with commenting on their stuff. Then they can't comment on yours and your posts go further and stuff like that. So there's a whole world of sort of making your posts effective, including the fine tuning of the image or the video or whatever. Like there's a whole world of that with social media. I love the fact, the one thing I'm thinking too is that you can use the other things that you've got going on, like particularly the keynote speaking, like create a bunch of content around that. So it's like promoting that you're going to be speaking, promoting behind the scenes when you're getting ready, promoting when you're at the event. Like there's so many ways that you can be posting. Mm-hmm. You can be combining the different efforts that you're making. And the podcast sounds great. I feel like you're reaching tons of people as it is. And it's also I don't know, but just from what you're saying, it sounds like you have a pretty darn good strategy already. And just working on maximizing that is key. The other thing that you could look at is creating a community where women actually join in some way. And then whatever that looks like, it could be a Facebook group.
Yeah. I'm creating an app right now. So it'll be an offline, off social app, because what I've noticed for survivors is it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not oh my gosh, I can't even find the word. Your profile it's not anonymous. That's the word I'm looking for. So unless you have a separate profile that you've created, when you're in these groups, if you want to comment and have a conversation, your profile is visible. And so I'm creating something completely off social media that will be hidden So even if there's an abuser that's looking at the phone, they wouldn't even know that it's there. So that there's a completely anonymous way to create a community, to learn, to grow, to ask questions, to not feel alone. So that's in the works right now.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, honestly, it sounds like you're on the right track. Do you have a mailing list?
Yeah, I have about 600 people on my mailing list. Not a
Awesome.
ton, but
That's
in
great.
there.
That's awesome.
All
I think
right.
that's amazing. I mean, without digging in, obviously I could, look at your stuff and sort of dig in and say, this is how you can make your message clearer, or this is how, whatever. But I think you're just definitely doing all the right things from
Okay,
what I
cool.
can tell. So do more of those.
Okay. Thank you.
Your second question, I kind of feel like isn't necessarily the getting more speaking gigs.
Yeah.
I'm not, I think you're much more well-versed in that world than I am. So I think you know the ways. And yeah, it's not really something I have done some speaking gigs, but I wouldn't say it's something I have an expertise in.
Okay. Perfect.
So I think I should learn about being an international speaker from you.
Okay. Well, I can teach you what I know gladly.
Awesome. That's so nice. All right. Can we dive into another question? It looks like Susan has her hand up.
I can't.
Yeah,
Well,
I
there
actually
you go.
had a question for Katie. Does that include women who are in relationships? And I'm not speaking for myself. I have a dear friend of mine who, because again, looking at the group, and I just entered, there's a lot of us who are Caucasian, and my friend is Indian, and she is married. She's, I guess, around 50. She's first generation, well, an immigrant. And unfortunately, she's in a relationship with an alcoholic. And I tried to get her and she's got two amazing children who are in university. And it's all because of her that they are as amazing as they are. But there's not a venue for her. I tried to get her involved in Al-Anon. That did not work. So is your platform, would that be something that I could recommend for my friend?
100%. Yes.
Can you, if there's a chat?
Yeah, I put the link for the event in there. So it's a free ticket. Like just go on and grab the ticket. If you can't make the day of, it's going to be recorded. So you'll be sent the recording. So you won't miss anything. And then,
sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to also let you know that you can click on Katie's profile here and connect with Katie. So you two can have like a DM conversation to make sure that you get this sorted for your friends. So this event is being recorded. So you might want to have that conversation by direct message so that you can sort that out with each other.
Okay. And I'm older and this is a new platform and I'm used to Zoom and I'm looking for all the little buttons here and I'm not seeing where the chat thing is. Sorry.
The chat is a little bubble at the bottom.
Got you. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Sorry about that. Appreciate it.
No, not a problem. I just wanted to connect the dots because what I heard Katie talking about a little bit, and also Adrian, was sales. Laura Jean is like, how do I go out there and sell what I'm doing? And I thought maybe that might be something you want to like hook into about, being a salesperson for yourself.
Do you want to go there?
Can I add a little bit to that too? So I love, Katie, everything, your social media, the public speaking. I'm a very like introverted person, and not that you necessarily, if you're an introvert, you don't want to do that, but that type of stuff is a little bit harder. Even social media, I'm not like super comfortable with that. So a little bit of the sales around doing that authentically, not in that space too. If we could touch on that, that would be awesome.
So let's get specific, Adrian, about what's happening. Who are you selling to?
Well, the people that I really want to work with are women is like a target for me. Also just kind of smaller businesses, any type of person that's trying to do good in the world or make a difference in some way. I think I'm really passionate about, just because who isn't, that, that's so meaningful. So I think at that, saying that, It is a consulting business, so there is some level of the company needs to be have a certain ability for to be able to pay for that financial. It's a financial advisory service, so kind of within the revenue of maybe a little bit under. This is just, it could be any guideline, but if you're going on revenue, maybe revenue sort of around 1 million to 25 million of revenue, looking to grow and build their business out. And I think everyone could benefit from help if they don't have that experience on the financial side. But yeah, does that help?
So definitely. So remind me, you said you're a fractional CFO?
Yeah.
Is that your business? Okay. So
yes.
You're saying, so one clue I'm getting already is that part of your selling process is being stymied by the fact that you're not 100% clear on your target market. So,
yeah. Okay.
So I think anyways, unless you just were kind of uncomfortable saying it, but I feel like if you were laser focused, you'd be like, yeah, we work with women-owned businesses between 1 million and 25 million. You needing to be, it helps when you are very clear on the type of business you want to work with. And so what kind of problems they're having and what kind of problems you can solve. So the problem they would be having is what?
There could be so many problems, but they don't have a lot of financial visibility or expertise in that area. They aren't able to review their financials on a monthly basis to get clarity. They aren't able to kind of see their financial future and like what that would look like if they were able to build out their business. They need to get funding to grow their business, but they need help building out whatever it is that they need to do that, understanding that, building the forecasts for that type of stuff.
Okay, awesome. So you would bring in, so it sounds like maybe there are businesses that grew with like a bookkeeper and an accountant, but neither of those people are looking at the numbers strategically.
Absolutely. Yes.
Would you say that's it? So then what you do is you come in and you look at the numbers strategically, past data, all that stuff, and then you create projections for the future of what's possible for their business type of thing.
Yeah, that would be a really big part of it. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. That sounds very needed by a lot of businesses.
And good summary. So you might say like things like that more clearly. Yeah.
Well, that's what I do by working with, I've been doing this a long time. So often we have trouble, and I have trouble in my own business of identifying these things clearly and, honing in on a target client and all that stuff. So this is what I do when I work with entrepreneurs, is really help them get that clarity, that focus. And then instead of, aiming for a target that's like this big, you're like laser focused on the target, which is right there. And then you start to know the wording that they would use to say, or they don't even say it. Like, just when I said they've probably been growing with like a bookkeeper and accountant, but they're not using those numbers strategically, that they might not even be aware that that's a missing piece. So that's the kind of language you can bring into the marketing and sales conversations and say, and then be really clear, like this is who we work with. This is what we're looking for. And they have this aha moment where they go, I didn't even realize that was a thing. I didn't even realize that my bookkeeper and accountant weren't doing the full picture of the job, and that what we need is someone who understands how to use numbers strategically. So that's part of what's going to help you start selling more effectively and marketing more effectively. And I find that once you have that clarity too, it's like, it creates a power in yourself where you just know these people need me. My God, I can't believe, I know that they're crying at their desk because they can't figure out how to make the next steps. And you can come in and create so much financial clarity for them by, like doing this work, right? So there's a lot. I actually did a presentation with CanWCC all about selling, and it was called Selling with Ease and Authenticity. And it was so great. So I broke it down into a whole bunch of like steps. So I'll try and remember a few of them. But it's based on, it's funny because I learned selling on the retail floor, selling clothes to women. And I definitely had that icky sensation of like, I don't want to sell, I don't want to seem pushy or whatever. And many of us have that. I'm curious, anybody on this call, like who struggles with feeling comfortable around sales? If you struggle with sales, yeah. it feels like you're pushing something on someone that they don't need or they don't want. And you feel like, oh, I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to be like the slimy used car salesman. So the first thing is getting an understanding. See how that clarity, I think, Adrian, that clarity shifted a little bit for you already in terms of realizing that you do something so valuable to people who are really lacking that. And when you really, so that's one part of the puzzle, is realizing these people need this. Another part of the puzzle is shifting your mindset around selling. So you're not pushing stuff on people who don't want something. You are there offering what they want. So you're listening to see if you fit the gap in their business and if what you offer is going to make them happy. And then when it's clear that that is what's happening, you say, like, Adrian, your sales conversation. So you've got someone on the phone, you've got them, you know, they've engaged, like, they're like, I'm kind of curious, what do you do, blah, blah, blah. And then you could start with, so here's another tip, listening is key to selling. So you could start with, well, tell me what's going on in your business. And they go, well, we grew from this and we did that and things are going pretty good. But at the same time, we're really struggling with this and we don't have a system for our cash flow or whatever, right? And then you see, oh, this is exactly what we do. You go, yeah, that's exactly what we do. We started this business because we knew so many business owners were struggling with exactly what you do and or what you're struggling with. And so this is how we fix that. This is how we operate. This is how we work. Does that sound like something you'd like? And then they go, yeah. And then you go, okay, great. So
yeah.
The next thing to talk about then is the packages and how it works and the payments, and you get more in depth, right? So it's really, and if they say something that you don't do, if they go, well, what we're really struggling with is marketing, then you go, oh, okay, weird. Why are you on a call with me? But that's okay, because I know that my friend Mary Lou specializes in digital marketing, let's say, or whatever. So you're just prepared. You come to the meeting with nothing, no expectations, no prejudgments, no nothing, all room in your head for just listening to that person and focusing on them, and then seeing if what you offer fills the gap and will make them happier. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think it's just honing in on that message and making sure that I can communicate like that, be a bit on that target market. And then, like Ashley commented about the connections with bookkeepers too. So I think, yeah, like finding those connections to get people to have those calls and then just figuring that out. But that was really helpful.
Yeah, there's two. Well, thank you. And I'm going to keep going a little bit on that because it's so common. So there's two different areas in your business that are, everything in your business is related to sales, firstly. But there's two areas that are really related. Lead generation, which we think of as marketing. So generating leads to talk to, and then lead conversion. So lead conversion is converting that person that you've got on the phone that you're consulting with to see if they're going to be a good client, converting them into a client. And marketing is getting them on the phone in the first place, marketing or lead generation. So this here is a lead generator for me. When I do these, it's to give you guys a sample of my coaching and see who is interested in coaching and is going to get in touch with me later about it. Right? So so when I look at my business, I can look at, am I booking calls, like sales calls? And I can look at, am I converting them? So then I can start to get what's strong and what's weak. So if I'm not getting people on the phone to even talk to them about selling to them, then I know I need to ramp up my marketing and my lead generation, right? So I part of the reason, this is like when I work with entrepreneurs, I like to teach them about the different areas of activity in the business, because without understanding how to separate it and create measurable systems in those areas, we can just feel like nothing's working and I'm a failure. Why is this always happening to me? But when we can think like a CEO, at least that's where I go to. When we can think like a CEO and back off and kind of look at our business from a faraway place, then we can see what areas are working and what aren't, and then just get really strategic about making the tweaks we need to make. So I used to tell my ladies, like when I hired new staff at my stores and worked with my staff to ongoingly train them on sales, I would always start with, first, you got to realize selling is good. Like the happiest customers we ever saw in our boutiques were the ones who were walking out the door with 3 bags filled with great outfits that they felt fantastic in, and being like, woo, I just got my whole season's wardrobe, right? And we sold whatever, maybe it was a $1,500 purchase or whatever. They are happy. So this crazy idea that when we sell, we're going to force things that people don't want on them and make them angry and sad is just crazy. When we sell, what we want to do is listen to their needs and then offer them great service and then match up what we have to offer with what they need and see if it's a fit. And, then sell and create a relationship. So everything that is in your business leads them down that path. So that's, the journey starts by when they meet you in a networking meeting, let's say, or the journey starts when they go to your website. So you want everything to be clear so that by the time they're on the phone, they're almost converted. They just really are kind of like wanting to hear your voice and make sure that it's what they thought or expected or whatever. Okay, so that I will wrap that up, unless other people have more questions on marketing or sales.
Jenny has had her hand up for a moment. Jenny, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question on scaling. Okay, I'm going to turn on my camera for a second. Okay, so I guess it's the same question that I presented during the introduction. I'm ready to scale up, bring in more businesses. At the same time, I can continue doing it all on my own or just with freelancers here and there. So the question is, if you had to put in order all these steps, so hiring new people, bringing in new people just to make the company grow, how would you prioritize, like what would be the order or the process to go there? And also, I mean, at this point for me to serve all the clients requires to work more hours than I'm comfortable with. So is it a matter of splitting, let's say, the sales right now, even though it's not like I have to pay, I have enough to pay multiple salaries or more salaries than what I'm paying right now? Or do I duplicate and work all those extra hours and then bring someone in? So I'm trying to get a sense of the scale. I am in the process of doing it. I don't know if I'm doing it right, so I'd like your opinion on that.
Okay, remind me what your business is.
So your graphic artist is branding and graphic design and marketing strategies and consulting.
And what?
And consulting in terms of branding and marketing strategies.
And you're a solopreneur right now?
I'm not solo. I started as a solopreneur. I still consider myself an entrepreneur, but I'm working with a team. However, my team is not full-time. None of them.
Okay. So is it a team of independent contractors with different specialties and that kind of thing?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay. And so what are you hoping to gain by, so you're looking to switch and have an employee come on board and start shifting to an employee model as opposed to an independent contractor model?
That is correct.
And so what's your thinking behind that?
Every time I bring someone in, I have to spend time on training them in terms of my vision, the way I do business, and my different clients and what they like, they don't like, what we've tried, what we didn't try, and all those kind of things. So I feel like having someone in-house first allow me to feel comfortable if I'm going to bring a new client in that I have already someone to help me. And on the other hand, is just skipping all that training process, which it could be time consuming, and sometimes I don't have the time if I'm trying to get work out.
Okay. And I'm assuming that with your current team, there's like availability issues, like you want someone to handle something, but they've taken another contract, or like, is it like that too?
A little bit like that. Sometimes it's just my teams have very limited time. For example, I have someone who only have 5 hours a week. And if it is a big project and it has all projects actually have deadlines, and they are team, she's not really able to deliver from beginning to end. So what I end up doing is I assign it to someone else, or I do it myself, and I just ask that person on those hours to do little bits and parts of the project. I like someone to take it from beginning to end with my overview of things, but not splitting the same project among multiple people.
Okay. And your existing training process for bringing them on board, what does that look like?
So at the beginning, I start with training in terms of branding and my business and the views and how we do things. I test out their abilities with internal projects, whether they're real or just made up, just to see how they respond, and also in terms of communication, the ways we communicate with each other, and if there is an understanding or how the process needs to change. Once I feel comfortable, then I'll bring them to work with an actual client.
Okay, so how long does the training process, you said explaining the brand values and different things like that. Is that something you have automated, or is that something that you verbally tell them like on a one-on-one kind of basis?
I do one-on-one, and you just gave me an idea there. Maybe I should have it automated, right?
Automated. So regardless, I think that, so there's no right or wrong answer in terms of, notice the way, like, I don't like dealing with generalities, like theoretical generalities. I like to know what's going on in your business. What are your goals and how can I help you get there? So, because it really is like, you know, like there's no, I wouldn't give anyone a blanket statement of like, Jenny, like, you know, this is the best way or whatever, right? So given your situation, I think, I just want to talk a little bit generally about the difference between sort of like the cobbled together independent contractors versus employee. And I like that you're going towards employees can give you a lot more stability for sure. And there's a lot of responsibility in having employees. So you want to make sure that you're complying with the labor laws and you're, you know, like doing all that right. And if it comes to termination, et cetera, you have to make sure. So you know, that you're handling it legally and dotting all the I's and T's and crossing all the T's and stuff like that. So I always recommend that someone has like a, you know, an HR consultant on standby or whatever, like that you just know of one in your world that can help you make sure that the steps are all handled. So that means contracts, that means, you know, like workplace policies around, I don't know, like discrimination, like all those things, right? Anything that you'd expect in a company that you came on board, you'd want to make sure that that's being handled. And then as you grow with employees, you know, I think an ideal situation is you want your investment in training and, you know, onboarding and all that stuff to pay off. So you do want to look at the long-term growth of that employee. So this is something I do with clients, is help them create a recruitment and like employee advancement and compensation package and all the things that are going to help you be the company that they're going to want to stick around with forever, right? And do their best work and be inspired and like all that stuff, creating a great company culture. So in terms of the actual question that you asked, which is what is the priority steps? I would say, you know, firstly, there comes a time in a lot of businesses where people have built it as a solopreneur and it basically exists in their head, the business. And then when they want to hire, they basically have to dismantle that business and create a new one that has processes that are created to be handed over to someone else and expectations that can expectations that tasks can be done by someone else. So what often we do is we get really good at these things. They live in our head. We've got all our shortcuts and we can do stuff super fast. And when you bring on an employee, you realize, oh my God, my pricing was based on my speed. And now they're taking twice as long to do it. Things like that, right? So I would say, you know, you want to automate everything to do with training as much as possible. It could be that whether you're doing with independent contractors or not, this is something that with my stores, because we had to hire entry-level sales associates all the time. Like that's something in retail that, you know, people move on from that job. So we got it down to a 2-day training with a checklist with some self-study items that they could, their manager could lead them through all those things in 2 days. And on the 3rd day, they could be alone in the store. And the operations manual, which is key to this, was completely searchable and online for them. So if they forgot in their training how to do a refund, they could search up in the operations manual refund, and there would be a step-by-step process for it there. So when you're having employee, now I'm not saying you have to have an operations manual done before you get an employee by any means. They can help you build it. So what you want to do is, there's so many steps. Tell me, oh, my screen just shifted. Tell me, Jenny, what kind of steps you're looking at so that I can get, because I'm just all over the place in terms of like best practices for recruiting and hiring, best practices for like, so what are you thinking of?
Well, you gave me a lot of ideas, which I have to add to my to-do list, which pretty much is the HR consulting and the onboarding, making it automated. What I'm looking at is I am in the process of bringing in new clients, and it has been successful. So I'm kind of doing both in parallel, and I'm a little scared that I'm going maybe too fast in bringing in new customers versus having the time to react to it. In the meantime, while I do that, then sometimes I neglect my social media or my marketing efforts because I just can't do it all. So that's where the question went in terms of like, what would be the process that you suggest? Like, what would be, if I have to make it on a list of priorities, how would that look like, in your opinion? Should I hire someone, even though there is not enough, to pay an employee right now, while I'm trying to capture new clients? Do I not hire anyone until I go all the way to the HR consultant, and then I hire someone, then I look for a company, or start looking for companies and work with freelancers until I can handle having the system for the full-time employee in?
It's hard for me to say exactly. Like, I think that I would say you operate, so you've got old corp, which is how you've been operating, and you're going to be building new corp. So I would say that, and you want to move forward. I mean, you mentioned, like, a lot of things you mentioned are sticking out to me. Like you said, do I hire someone even though I don't have the money to hire them? But do you literally not have the money to hire them? Or because then you can't, right? But if you can find or access the money to know that you're going to be okay to pay them for the first 2 months, let's say, then you can strategically say, okay, I'm going to be hiring that person and getting them up to speed over 2 months. And then I'm going to go back into my sales cycle and start selling like crazy so that I get more clients in to make enough work for them, right?
So, well, that's the thing. Paying for that employment right now, it will mean it will be reflected on the clients that I'm bringing in. And the clients that I'm bringing in, I'm able to offer them solutions, as you mentioned, to Adrienne, that they don't know they need, but I haven't, just because I need to split my time among all other projects that I have for other clients and trying to market. I don't feel it's right what I'm doing right now in terms of marketing on social media, and then I get really busy and then I stop. So I'm trying to create a system of automation there as well. But yeah, I guess the part where I'm weak now is that consideration, splitting my salary and risking to bring more clients at the same time, or having the clients and then when I'm overwhelmed, I just bring someone in. I don't know how to proceed with that one.
When you're overwhelmed, bring someone in, meaning the new employee.
Yes.
So I think that overwhelmed is not a great time to bring in a new employee because they require a lot of, it's like you're on like, you're like this, but you're on a hamster wheel, and you want to bring on a new employee to get your business going like that, on that kind of, your trajectory is this, because you can't bring in more work. You want to bring in the new employee so that your trajectory changes like this. But here's the rub is that it's going to actually go like this first. Do you get what I mean? So prepare for this, because you're doing everything you're doing. And now you want to go through crafting a brilliant job ad, finding that wonderful person, interviewing 6 or 5 people or whatever, so that you can, oh, my screen changed again. Where'd you go, Jenny?
I'm here.
So that you want to interview, a bunch of people so that you can feel confident that you're getting the right person. So it's going to take more time and energy.
Okay, so I am actually doing the process as you're describing it, because I agree with you. If I'm overwhelmed, I'm just going to take anyone out of desperation, and I'm not going to dedicate as much time to the process of onboarding, even if it's automated. There's always questions and there is always some time to be dedicated. So then when do I break that process and just start, like, I complete the full-time hiring, because right now I don't have anybody full-time, it's only part-time. Is it before, just to be prepared for the new clients that are coming in and I'm just taking the risk? Or do I bring in the clients and then, again, that's the part that I'm talking about, overwhelm. I have someone in line, but I need to bring the client, and then once I don't have time, then that's the moment of hiring.
I think I might be misunderstanding the question, but I think that you have to clear some space to deal with the hiring. So bringing in more clients and waiting till you're overwhelmed is not going to work. And you can't just bring in the new employee unsupported and be like, I'm super overwhelmed, take these clients. You know what I mean? Like, so you have to be like, in your business planning, you have to look at, what have you got going on? Is there any place where you have a lull or something where you can actually tackle this project of bringing on employees? And also realize this isn't just a tiny thing. It's not just like making a purchase or, something like that. It is literally, you're in that old corp, new corp thing. You're dismantling old corp to build new corp with employees that operate differently, etc. So, I mean, off the top of my head, I would say continue working as you are, as best you can. Take a look at your, at some point this week or whatever, take a look at sort of like your next few months and what they look like. For example, if you know you have a dip in the summer, that would be a great time to take on the hiring project. And then look at more factors. How can you, so I don't have like a quick answer. It's like you have to look at, what does your financial situation look like? Can you take, if you're really just kind of like stringing along and you don't have any buffer zone, can you take out a line of credit to give yourself a buffer so that you can buy the time getting off the client service hamster wheel? You can buy some time to actually put effort into this employee project and understand that you're building the foundation for your business for the next, 5-10 years or whatever. Like, it's a big project.
Yes. Okay. I like that.